Welcome, you people, to another episode of Good Health by Claudia, a podcast with me, Denny Schaffer, a production of Denny Radio. We are at episode 80. Can you believe 80? That is amazing.
That's
to
exciting.
me. 80. That's pretty cool. One of these days, Mom, not very good at math. I have to figure out when our 100th episode will be.
Yeah.
My guess would be probably right close to the end of the year or first of next. Anyway, we'll figure it out. But thank you, because the podcast is growing. The numbers look great. But we always like you to share, people. So if you want to share this podcast, please do right now. Hit share as you're watching it. It makes it easy.
Yep.
And it gets the word out, information. And for a lot of people, it's critical information. They don't even know about it.
I love when people are calling the store from all over the United States. And I'm thrilled. I'm so honored. And it just makes me happy. They're calling and
I was in the store.
podcast.
I was in the store last week, and one of your team said, we got a call from somebody from Arizona who watches your podcast. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Is it because I'm so darn handsome?
It's because you're so wonderful.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not it. The information is wonderful. Anyway, but yes, please share. Yeah, because people can call and get information from the store. They can order products and you'll send them.
And people, there's a lot of people out there that want to learn. They want to understand about natural health. They're tired of going to the docs.
Right.
We hear it all day long. They're tired of their life revolving around doctor's appointments,
right,
testing, pharmaceutical. They're tired of it.
And you know what they're doing? People are paying attention, because I thought I saw a stat like 70% of commercials on TV are big pharma.
It's
products.
awful.
I think 70%.
I think it's terrible.
So here's the good thing about that. Okay. I know it doesn't sound good, but here's the good part of it. At the end of these ads that make them look so special and all this and how happy they are, legally, they have to run the disclaimer about
the side
effects. And people are like, why would I want to take a product that is going to, do this or that or that or this? And I'm like, no. So people are like, there's got to be another way.
Absolutely. There's another way.
In a roundabout way, those commercials are actually helping with what you're trying to do.
Way to look at it.
Get the information out. That's why we're here, people.
And remember, years ago, Western medicine called natural health alternative. Well, it shouldn't be the alternative for everyday health. It should be the main focus for everyday health.
Right.
And if you have a true crisis, whatever, you get in a car accident or fall off a bridge or whatever, Western medicine is phenomenal for true crisis.
Right.
But it's fair to say, because they don't take a proactive approach, things that shouldn't have become a crisis over the years are becoming a crisis. It's very, that's why we're teaching people, be proactive, knowledge is power, embrace all these things. So today,
what are we talking about today, Claudia?
I thought it would be cool to talk about the digestive system.
Ooh.
We talk about it all day long at the store, because it's where everything is happening. It's what's making the body, it's running the body. So you better understand the digestive system, because if you want to address your health and reclaim it, it's very important to understand, when you choose a food and you eat it, what its journey is through the plumbing, as I call it. Mm. Because, most people are clogging up their plumbing for years, and they don't even realize it. And when things are not working properly in our inner world, everything is just sitting there and becoming a problem, getting deterioration, and you're getting accumulation of toxins. And, just like our last guest last week Neil was talking about, protein. It's important there's protein that we eat, but the metabolic functions that happen throughout the day, you've got, proteins that shouldn't be in the body, causing inflammation and all these other things. So understanding the digestive system is really important. One of the first things I like to point out, and when I do classes at the store, go ahead.
Everything starts in the gut?
Everything starts in the gut.
Is that where you were going?
Well, I was first going to say how long the gut is, because in classes, I've always brought Jim's tape measure,
Right.
and we look at, the gut can be 26 to 30 feet. And it's what, in a 2.5 foot area. If you got a
Right.
tall guy, it might be 3 feet, tall guy or woman, whatever. But you're talking almost 30 feet of plumbing
Yeah.
in a very small, short area. So understanding what it's doing is extremely important. So of course it all starts in the mouth. We have to chew and chew up our food. Most people aren't chewing their food properly. They're in a hurry. But chewing is very important. And sugar digestion starts in the mouth. This is very important. And from the mouth, then if we have the esophagus, that's the tube that connects the mouth to the stomach. And of course, you have a lot of people now, millions of people are dealing with heartburn and esophageal burn.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about that. But that tube, when you're eating things that are appropriate, that tube, the whole digestive system is happy. But when you're eating things that are not right for the body, then that tube becomes inflamed. We talk about inflammation.
Right.
The stomach becomes inflamed, the bowel becomes inflamed. You have all these bowel inflammatory problems, IBS and diverticulitis and all these things. So calming that inflammation is very important. And of course, for me, everyone knows I like the eating according to the blood type. I've stood by it for 30 years. I'll continue to stand by it until somebody comes along and shows me something that makes more sense. I'm a fan of eating according to the blood type. And because the blood typing, the more we learn it, the more we witness it, the more we understand it. That stomach, so the esophagus goes into the stomach. And I always tell everybody the stomach is nothing more than a garbage disposal. It's meant to grind things up. No absorption should happen through the stomach. And of course, we have people being, learning about leaky gut and all these things. And that's where the stomach becomes inflamed and you start getting pits, if you will, in that garbage disposal. And undigested food then gets into the bloodstream, and then you got problems and you don't want. So allowing our stomach to digest what it's meant to digest, I think is very, very important. And again, we're not going to specifically talk about blood typing, but it all goes back to, for me, each blood type has they have different levels of hydrochloric acid, which is the prevalent digestive enzyme that we produce. It's one of the strongest acids on the planet. If in a healthy stomach kicks out hydrochloric acid to break up all the food and make sure it's breaking down properly, especially protein. But in a healthy stomach, that hydrochloric acid should not burn or irritate the lining. Well, you have, people have been eating the American diet for what? Almost, 80 years now or whatever it is. And all of this, the refinement of food, the pasteurization of dairy, the, refinement of grains where they're pulling out all the fiber and all the nutrients and leaving the fluffy stuff, that's all that stuff is just turning into, I always say it's turning into goop in the intestinal tract. You don't want goop in your intestinal tract, by the way. So the esophagus leads to the stomach. When the stomach is healthy and happy, it's grinding everything properly. And again, the reason I like the blood typing is because it makes sense to me. O blood type, they were the hunters. They produced the highest levels of HCl. Of course, they had to have that stomach strength to break down red meat. Then came A, which was agriculture. They have lower levels of HCl. If you ask an A, most A's, they'll tell you red meat does not sit well for them. It's very hard to digest.
I wish I was an O. Because I like bacon.
Yeah, a lot of A's love red meat, but it's fair to say that most A's, when they get rid of red meat, not only do they feel better, but we see changes in their blood work and all these other things. And then came B, that was the nomadic period of time, and then AB. So each stomach we're all designed the same, but we're kicking out different levels of enzymes. And that to me is what's important.
So red meat, does that build up your iron in your body?
It does.
Which is why I'm anemic, because I eat to my blood type and I don't have red meat very often.
And some A's need, it's not, I hear this a lot from different A's. They'll tell me, once a week or once every 2 weeks, they got to have a burger, or they got to have a steak. You know, I've been trying to get somebody from Dr. Diadamo's company on so we could talk to them and
Yeah.
we can learn more.
We'll get them. We'll get them
But
as this podcast grows.
yeah, we haven't gotten anybody yet,
We're
but
coming for you.
but I do think there's something there. Some A's
Oh, yeah.
need some red meat once in a while, but it's the A blood types that are eating it every day
Yeah,
or
I'm not
several
doing
times
that.
a week. It
No.
becomes very inflammatory for them. But at any rate, making your stomach happy, which is the garbage disposal, is very important. So when the stomach can grind things up properly, break them apart, now it goes into the small intestine. Well, the small intestine is a big deal, and there's 3 parts to it. There's the duodenum, which is allows about 12 to 15 inches, and it's for the stomach leading into the small intestine. So when that food ground up is coming into the upper part of the small intestine, it's very acidic because of the hydrochloric acid.
Mhm.
So what happens in that section of the intestinal tract, there's things bicarbonates, meaning the body is producing things to calm down that acidity so it doesn't burn the rest of the intestinal tract. So then you go into the jejunum. That's where most of the absorption is being. So remember, the stomach is just breaking things down. Now we have to absorb the nutrients, and this is very important. It's very important to eat clean food, to eat real food, because that's where we're getting the nutrients that are fueling the body to do what it needs to do. So then from there, then it goes into the ileum. The ileum leads to the small bowel. So remember, from mouth to rectum, that's a long tube, and you
There it is.
better take care of it, because when food is in there, it's not digested properly. That's where you've got critters, as I call them. You know, you've got fungus and parasites and all these different things, bacterias, viruses.
Yeah.
So making sure that our bowel, our intestinal tract is relatively clean, if you will. And that's where the fiber comes in. Fiber is so important. Remember when we had
Oh, yeah.
Brenda Watson from Vital Planet?
That's it.
And she was talking about how very important fiber is. Why? Because it's scrubbing. It's keeping that wall of the intestinal tract clean. And unfortunately, most people are eating refined foods and they're not getting any fiber. So fiber is very important. But one of the things I think is very, very important to remember, this tube is very long and it has a very important purpose. Remember, neurotransmitters are produced in it all comes from the gut. We always say that.
Everything.
It's all happening in the gut.
Everything.
So the more that you can really help your digestive system, it will help you. It will help you feel better.
There you
So
go.
I brought some things that I just wanted to go over.
All right, we have products to show you.
So
Here we go.
this
Product
is Super
number 1.
Enzymes by Now Foods. A lot of
Boom.
people like this product. You're getting a little bit of hydrochloric acid. You're getting enzymes in there to break down carbs, fats, which are lipids, and protein. So this is a nice all-around digestive enzyme. If you don't know exactly what you need, this is a nice product to start with.
1 capsule once a day with food.
With food. And remember, anytime you have a digestive enzyme with hydrochloric acid in it, which this one does, you have to take it with food. You never want to take it on an empty stomach. You don't want to hold it in your mouth. Hydrochloric acid is a very strong acid, and it only belongs in the stomach.
Okay.
So that's a very good one. We have a lot of people coming in. They're having, a lot of people are having gallbladder issues and from all the junk they've been eating all the years. This is a great one by Carlson. This has some ox bile in it, and it actually helps support the liver, because remember, the liver is producing bile. The bile is stored in the gallbladder, which is in the small intestine. So the food dumps from the stomach, it goes into the small intestine. There are other enzymes that come in, lipase and bile and other things, pancreatin, and they're all helping to continue to break down our food so the body can then uptake the nutrients.
That's the
That's
important
how,
part.
and remember, it's all happening at the cellular level. So if you're not getting nutrients through that tube of the intestinal tract into the cell, you got a problem. It all has to get into the cell. And the more gunked up and goopy the digestive tract is, you're not going to get proper uptake. The cleaner the digestive system, the more things can get to the cell and the happier the cells will be. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense.
So the majority of absorption is in the second part of the small bowel. And it's a very, again, you got to absorb. I mean, we see people, it's interesting, the American diet, we see people that are overeating, but they're malnutritioned.
Yeah.
They're malnutritioned at a cellular level. When you think about that, how can that be? Well, it's because what they're eating is junk, and the body knows what it needs to function. So if you're eating a bunch of junk and fast food and pop and all these things, and you're constantly hungry, or you just don't feel well, it's all the junk, it's what's in the junk, but also it's what it's doing once it's in the intestinal tract. The body's trying to deal with all this, and everything eventually absorbs and it has to get to the liver so the liver can clean the blood. So there's a plan with our digestive system. It's a very intricate, and I'm just giving a quick overview.
Yeah.
But we could spend hours and hours talking about the digestive system because it's so magnificent and it's intricate and it's wise. So remember, most times when people don't feel well, the first thing you have to do is look at what you're eating because that's where it's starting. But also remember, and I want to reiterate this, nutrients have to get to the cell. And if the intestinal, I always say, if you look at your kitchen sink, you've got your, most people have a garbage disposal, and then you've got what from the bottom of the kitchen sink to the floor is about that.
Yeah, depends.
Which is about from here to here.
Right.
Okay. Imagine if you had 30 feet of plumbing from the bottom of your sink
all wrapped around and
to the bottom of the cabinet. Think about that. There's a lot you wouldn't be putting in that disposal because it won't come out.
Right.
And think about when your kitchen sink is backed up, how long does it take for it to start to stink? Not very long, usually a day or two. You got people with halitosis, which is bad breath, all these different things. This is the body's way of trying to say, hey, clean out the intestinal tract, man. Quit eating junk, clean it out. So anyway, it's very important. Once it gets to the colon, once everything gets to the colon, that's where the last part of the small bowel and the large bowel are regulating the water intake. Well, they're regulating more than that, but you see people either have diarrhea or they have constipation. Their water is off, the moisture in their body, the water is off in their body. So that's where the colon's trying to balance everything. So what do we always remind people? What'd you put in here? Because the end result of the colon is reflecting what you already ate. Does that make sense?
Total sense.
So fiber is important. I didn't bring any fiber, but I did
bring Planet fiber.
It's
very
a great product,
good.
yes. Now I brought one for people that are not eating meat. There is no hydrochloric acid in here. These are all plant enzymes, which are wonderful. So I like to, if somebody is an O, they usually do well if they need some digestive support. And by the way, I just want to say this. There's a lot of people out there saying digestive enzymes interfere with the stomach's ability to do what it's meant to do. In all the years I've worked with hundreds of thousands of people at this point, I've not seen that. We've seen so many people feel better when they add digestive support. So I don't know why some people are saying that, but they are out in the world. I personally disagree. You're always going to get different opinions. But in all my years of working with with so many people of different blood types, and I've never seen anybody tell me that they were worse with a digestive enzyme. Anyway, digestive enzymes, I believe, are very important. It's just finding the one that fits for you.
Boom. This is with every meal. So it'd be 3 a day.
Every meal. Yes.
There you
And
go.
some people, we always tell people, especially when you're taking something with hydrochloric acid in it. There's other products on the market that have HCl. You don't want to just jump into a lot of HCl. You start low and then slowly. If
Mm.
you need to go to 2 capsules at a meal, you go to 2, but you do 1 a meal for a day or 2. See how you feel. You always hear me say that.
Always.
And I think that there's a lot of wonderful practitioners in the world. I think, and again, this is not to criticize anybody, but I don't believe in putting somebody on 20 different things at one time.
No, you can't.
You'll not see me
No.
do that. I think it's important to do 1 or 2 things. You start them separately and you build your protocol. You want to know how you're feeling.
All
This
right.
is very important. This is what connects us not only to our body, but to the supplements we're taking. So do things slowly.
Slowly. All right. What
So,
else you got?
Another company that makes a nicest, in fact, this is one of the oldest essential enzymes, digestive enzymes that I'm aware of, Source Natural, great company. This is one of the first on the market. So these work, again, just couple different companies to show you. And the plant enzymes, these are for people that are vegan, vegetarian, what have you.
Okay.
Okay.
With every meal.
With every meal. I wanted to bring mastic gum. This is a really important product. And back in 1998, the New England Journal of Medicine released research, an article on research with this product. For those of you that might be dealing with H. pylori, which is not a pleasant thing, it causes ulcerations in the digestive tract. One of the things that has been shown back in 1998, mastic gum can help support digestive health with people that are dealing with H. pylori. So I just wanted to show it. So,
Okay.
because we had a customer the
There it
other day
is.
say, "What is mastic gum?" And I pulled out the product. I said, "This is mastic
There
gum."
you go.
Now, one other thing I want to show you. This is marshmallow tea from the mallow plant. The mallow plant is considered to be one of the most anti-inflammatory herbs for the GI tract and also the urinary system. So this is a very popular herb, this particular one, Celebration Herbs. This is a family-owned business, great company. You know, I like to stick with the family-owned. I think they're very important. So this is just marshmallow tea. It's a wonderful tea to sip on. It will calm inflammation in the digestive tract. Some people do it with the digestive enzyme. Some people do it just the tea, but I wanted to throw that in. So there's a little bit of an overview. Remember, the liver is working very hard for us. It does many functions. It's cleaning the blood. It's producing hormones. It's doing all these things. And the more we take care of our liver, the happier you'll be. And remember, the liver is producing bile. We are getting so many people weekly whose gallbladder has been removed.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've had a couple conversations with some docs over the last couple of years. Well, if the gallbladder is removed, where's the bile being stored? And nobody has an answer because remember, the liver produces bile and the gallbladder stores it. And in the small intestine, it kicks that bile out to help us digest fats and oils. So bile is very, very important. The gallbladder is very important. And there are things that you can do to help support your liver if it's, you know, if it's not producing bile properly. So again, nature has the answer. So anyway, that was just a quick overview. I hope that helps.
Oh, awesome. Awesome info.
Anyway, remember, everyone has a digestive system. It's very important to everything of how we feel. So learn how to take care of it, and you will be very happy that you did. Good?
Excellent. I like how you said the word rectum and you didn't even flinch. And I'm like,
I mean, that's part of dealing with health.
I know, but I'm a guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hear that. I'm like, I'm snickering. I don't know why. I'm a child. All right. Give us the last word,
All right,
Claudia.
that's it, man. Just, you know, take care of your digestive system. You will be very happy that you did. Get rid of the junk. And when it comes to some of these other foods, you know, as I said, I think you should all learn about your blood type and eat according to blood type. But there's a lot of foods that are just American junk. I'd get rid of them. So anyway, health is a beautiful thing. health, really, health is our greatest wealth. And it sounds cliche, but I've worked with people that have a lot of money, a lot of everything, but if they didn't have their health, they were not having fun. So honor your body, honor the way it works, be a part of it, understand it, work with it, and help yourself feel better. So nutrition is a beautiful thing. That's it. Many blessings, everybody. Keep the faith.